Playing the game in life right and getting to the side where everything is in your control is actually a life changer. First of all, I excuse if my voice kind of sound different today. I just got cold yesterday, so I can't speak really well and I have a sore throat. And I don't want to be too soft in this episode. I think I have to be hard with y'all with this one. I think sometimes we have to be hard on ourselves because it's what is pushing us to our limit. Being soft or too soft with ourselves or to everyone is just going to put them at ease, and it's gonna keep them from being in their comfort zone. Sometimes those difficult situations, those people who are hard on us is what really motivates us to do harder and to strive even more in our lives, because we think to ourselves that we have to prove something. We have to prove them that we can do better. And by that, those hardship that we think is what making our life miserable is actually the things that is pushing us to strive harder and better in life. It is not those moments where we are being soft on ourselves, because it is a way of comfort and weakness. Hey guys, and welcome, beautiful soul, to another episode of Mika's Hideout. I know that I have been talking about making this episode about taking responsibility of everything in your life ever since in my first and second episode. Title is Do You Believe in Depression and How to Take Everything as a Win. So make sure to listen to that first before you proceed to this. And if you have already done listening to those two episodes, I am thankful for your support in this channel, and I hope you've learned a lot from my previous episodes. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's start this new episode, a new journey with Mika's Hideout. Taking responsibility of everything in your life means accepting that you are in control of your actions, decisions, and reactions. It's about understanding that while you cannot control everything that is happening in your life or everything that life throws at you, what you can control is how you are going to respond to it. For example, imagine you're stuck in a traffic and late for an important meeting. So instead of blaming the traffic and being angry about it, you can take responsibility by acknowledging that you could have left earlier or found an alternative route. This doesn't mean beating yourself up, but rather recognizing your role in the situation and learning from it to make better choices in the future. And rather than letting that negative situation ruin your mood or letting it control your emotions for the rest of the day or even weeks, it is literally up to you if you just tell to yourself that it is your responsibility and learn your lesson to do better in the future to avoid that situation from happening again. So instead, you don't have to blame yourself or anyone about it because it already happened. What can you do is to control how you are going to respond to it, and the situation is already negative. You lashing out and being mad or angry about it and throwing negative energy is just not going to do any better, but it can make the situation even worse. So instead of taking it as a negative, think to yourself, what positive thing can I get out of it? Or how can I make the situation positive? And that is you learning your lesson or you getting something even better if something didn't work out. Taking responsibility also applies to friendship and relationship with anyone. If you have a disagreement with a friend, sometimes it is easy to point fingers and blame them for the conflict because we don't like the idea of being the one and responsible of something or being the one to look bad. That's why we are more willing to argue and just prove them that we are right and they are wrong. However, taking responsibility means reflecting on your own behavior and considering how you might have contributed to the misunderstanding or to the situation. It might involve apologizing if you were wrong or simply communicating more effectively in the future. That's why communicating is very important in relationship because it allows us to make two different sides works on each other, and because it doesn't really matter who is right or wrong, what matters is how you both gonna work things out. And also, instead of focusing on the problem and keep on putting blame on anyone, think what can you do to solve it or to make the situation any better. Because like I said, where you focus your attention and energy on expands. And if you have encountered any problem, you keep on talking and bragging about it, it's not gonna solve a thing. It is just going to be more of a problem, and it might even ruin your relationship with someone because, honey, it already happened. Instead of focusing and thinking who should take responsibility or why does that thing happen in the first place, start thinking what can y'all do better? What can you do to help the situation? Start thinking about the solution and start moving forward. Don't be stuck in a problem, it's not gonna get you anywhere. In your career, taking responsibility can mean owning your mistakes and striving to improve. If a project you're working on fails, instead of making excuses, analyze what went wrong and how can you do better next time. This approach not only helps you grow but also build trust and respect with your colleagues. And another is if you're not happy with your health, rather than blaming genetics or lack of time, look at your habits. Are you eating well? Are you exercising regularly? Because this small, consistent action can lead to significant changes, and taking responsibility also means recognizing that you have the power to make those changes. Taking responsibility doesn't always mean that you are taking the blame. Sometimes it is actually a good thing to take responsibility because it allows us to do everything that we can just to solve something or to let go of something, and by doing that, we can reflect on ourselves and know what we are really capable of. We can discover things about ourselves or with others, traits that we haven't seen before. It is really important as it allows us to grow even more as a person, and by always taking responsibility of how you respond to a certain situation, it makes us more resilient and a good decision maker that could really benefit us in the future. Taking responsibility just means controlling your response and not letting external circumstances control you. If you don't control your life and you don't take responsibility of things, others is going to do it for you. If you can't decide for yourself, others is going to own that decision for you. Are you okay with others always deciding for you? Because it will always feels like you are living your life for others. I know some of you are going to think that, but it's always my mother or my parents or my relatives that is deciding for me. It's not like I have other choice, like on what course I am going to take or what job or profession should I pursue, and sometimes it's even your partner on what clothes you should wear, and yada yada yada. That is just pathetic. That is having a victim mindset. It's like blaming others for the choices you can't even make on your own. Now let me tell you this. It is your life, so it is your choice. You are letting them decide for you because you can't even decide for yourself. You don't have the confidence and courage to do it. It may be because your whole life you got used to others deciding for you, and you may not be taught well to decide on your own, like simple habits when you were young, like what clothes you should wear or what food you want to eat. It may not be your fault that you grew up like that, but your present and future is up to you. So it is up to you whether you break that pattern or habits and to learn and practice a new one. But either way, it is your life that is gonna be affected by the decision you make. It doesn't matter what they say and what you should do now. I know some of y'all respect your parents or partner. I'm not saying that you shouldn't respect their decision, but once you get to the age where you should be deciding for yourself, like once you get to legal age or age where you can think on your own, and you think your decision is better than anyone, then follow it, because it is. You know deep inside what is best for you. What is that you really want and not what they want for you because they think that it is better for you. Now for me, personally, I don't really believe in mothers knows best. I think that mothers or parents just knows the safest for their child. But you, it is your life, so you should know better than anyone on what you should do because you are the one who is going to suffer in the long run. If those decisions that other people dictate to you doesn't work. I am not saying to do not respect your parents' decision or other people that is important to you. What I am saying is that whatever they say, it is just their opinion based on their perspective and their experiences. Those aren't your life. You have your own. It is fine to respect theirs or reconsider their opinion sometimes, but in the end, it is still up to you on what decision you are going to choose or what action you are going to take. It is your life, so live it. You cannot let other people decide for you, then blame them if their decision turns in the wrong way or if it doesn't end good. Because in the first place, you know that it is your responsibility to make that decision, so you cannot blame them if something doesn't work out. In fact, you should even be thankful for them because if that thing didn't happen, you wouldn't be able to learn your lessons, and it will keep on happening again and again until you actually learn your lesson and take new actions about it. Until you finally realize that you cannot always rely on anyone about the things that involves you or the things that is happening to your life. You have to trust yourself. Be confident on what you are capable of. Because in the end, it is you who only really cares on the things that will happen to you. So it is up to you to be responsible on what you really want. It's just the same with other people only care about themselves. Their focus is only on themselves, and most people who's focusing on life of others is people who aren't actually living their best life. It's those people who can't even live their life to the fullest. That's why they are investing in giving comments about other people's life because they can't even live their own. So why would you listen to them? They don't even know what's best for themselves. How are you expecting them to know what is best for you? It's a shame that you rely and trust others for taking responsibility of your own life than you trusting your own self with it. So starting now, I want you to start practicing making decisions on your own without asking for anyone's approval or opinion about it. And it doesn't always have to be perfect. Sometimes you just have to do it and allow yourself to make mistakes, because in those mistakes and failure that we make, that's where we get all the valuable lesson and experience of all. And by making those decisions on your own, you get first-hand satisfaction or lessons and experiences, and that is an effective tool that you can use to grow yourself and to make better decisions next time. That's it, my love. Thank you for listening, and I hope you actually decided to make a change now, because I am rooting for you and for your success. And if you appreciate and interested in this kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts about this.